I know what you're thinking. How many pancakes does it take to cover a dog? But you also might be thinking that you love heavy metal, and you've been tempted with the thought of going to your first metal show and seeing your favorite band live. But you are worried about things like getting punched in the face in the mosh pit, or getting crushed by a fat stage diving neo-Nazi, or the smell. Well, have no fear, my young Padawan, because the Savior is here to hold your hand through the Metal Concerts Beginner's Guide. I will take you step by step through your first concert experience. Everything from missing out on buying tickets and having to buy from resellers, to trying to prop your head up the next day after headbanging too hard. We'll cover your club gigs, theater shows, and arena concerts all here, so grab a pen and a notebook and pay attention. And next thing you know, you'll go from a nervous noob to a concert conqueror as we go through the Metal Concerts Beginner's Guide. So headbang the like button, stage dive on the subscribe button, and windmill the video to your friends. And if you're a fan of the channel, consider becoming a member. Memberships only cost 99 cents a month, and each one really helps me toward my lifelong goal of creating a life-size Godzilla to invade Canada. And now let's crack open the guide. Before you run off all excited to your first metal bonanza, you will need tickets. That's right, metal shows are not free. Welcome to your new crippling financial addiction. Nowadays, every ticket to every show is treated like Wonka's golden ticket, and if it's a really big concert, it will be sold out before it's even on sale. How is that possible, I hear you ask? Well, these days, ticket vendors focus on pre-sales. With band fan clubs, special credit card offers, website memberships, fans can purchase tickets a few days before they go on sale to the general public, because you're oh so special if you have a certain credit card. But the way Ticket Bastard looks at it is that the pre-sale is the general public, and the general public sale are for the poor peasants who can have the privilege of sitting on the roof behind a trash can. So if it's a very big popular show, you will want to be sure you have access to one of these offers to get a decent ticket and be online right when they go on sale. If it says your sale starts at 10 a.m., then be online at least at 9:50 with your credit card ready. This is for most big arena shows and theaters. If you're going to a club show, it's less of an issue. Obviously, if the band isn't that well known and it might not sell out, you can just buy the tickets once they go on a public sale. But for pretty much any concert, you'll want to get the ticket sooner rather than later. Let's say you waited online and you got your ticket. Next thing you know, it's concert day and you are excited. I'm excited for you. But why don't you start by doing everyone a huge favor and put on deodorant? Don't join us barbarians just to be a smelly stereotype. Be the change you want to smell in the world. Getting yourself physically to the concert can be a horrendously stressful experience if you don't plan accordingly. Smaller club shows and theaters are less of a problem. Those are usually just street parking or garages, so those depend entirely on how shit your city is. For the big arena shows, the massive outdoor shows with 20 to 60,000 people attending, I hope your car is comfortable. If you show up within the hour of the doors opening, you will probably be stuck in traffic for a long time. And if you want to see all of the bands, this can stress you the fuck out. Let's say for the concert, the doors open at 6 p.m. First band starts at 7 p.m. and the show will end around 11 p.m. That's pretty standard. From 5 p.m. to about 7 p.m., traffic will be at its worst. If you show up at 5:30, it could take you a full hour to park. That's very common. The times traffic will be its lightest will be about 90 minutes before the doors open and then toward the end of the first band's set. So if you were going to a show and you only wanted to see the headliner, maybe you hate the other bands, you could arrive sometime after 7:30 and before 9 o'clock and you shouldn't have any traffic issues. I mean, I do think you should get your money's worth and see as much as possible, but I also hate sitting in my car not moving for 2 hours, so choose wisely. And if you thought traffic getting into the show sucks, how do you think it will be when those 60,000 people all head to their cars at the same time? Leaving the parking lot after a big show can be a nightmare that often leads to long traffic delays and angry people. For getting out of the parking lot at the end of the show, you have a couple of options. Number one, just leave with everyone else, follow the herd, and get very comfortable waiting in your car. Number two, continue to hang out in or outside of your car, chatting with friends, finishing any drinks, and wait out the herd. Or three, the one that I often use, if you've seen the band before, maybe it's your 35th time seeing Iron Maiden. What I like to do is leave while the last song is ending. I'll stay for the majority of it, but once it gets to about the halfway point, I usually bolt for my car and drive out with zero traffic. Actually, one time I did do that for Iron Maiden. I was in the pit, and once the last song started, I made my way straight to my car, 25 minutes later, I was on my couch miles away, while most of the crowd were just starting their hour-long traffic jam. Obviously, if the band is important to you, and especially if you haven't seen them before, then I recommend enjoying the final moments and taking it all in, and then using one of the other options. But once you become seasoned enough, this is a great strategy. But back to the beginning of the show. Now that you have finally parked, it is time to pregame. As we all know, all metalheads are clean, responsible people who just say no to alcohol and drugs. No, I'm just kidding, we are degenerates. And if you are a metalhead who is less than sober, pre-gaming is your time to get toasted on a budget. If you're a sober metalhead, feel free to ignore this part, but all drinkers out there will know that concert venues tend to sell alcohol for about 4 times as much as liquor stores. That Modelo at 7-Eleven that was $4, I guarantee you will be $17 inside the venue. So the pre-game is your chance to meet up with friends, kick it in one of your cars, blast loud music, and chug cheap beer like a goddamn adult. Just don't get so distracted to where you forget to go inside and miss the entire show. That does happen. Once you are good and ready to go inside the show, first thing to do is pass through security. Yes, metal concerts do in fact have security guards and laws. Contrary to popular belief, they are not Mad Max Thunderdomes. They can be wild and insane, and people can get injured in the mosh pit, but it is not a riot. When you first pass the door and enter the venue, walking into the club, you will be greeted with the overwhelming sense of muggy body odor. Small club shows can often feel like saunas. Theater shows are much better. Unless it's a thrash or a death metal band that sells out the place, then the pit can be quite stanky and the venue warm. For arenas and big festivals, you're not really gonna have this issue. But for all metal venues, from big to small, you'll probably see 2 things immediately. The merch table, where fans can buy all of their t-shirts and shit, and the bar, where the people who were pre-gaming in the parking lot can drink more and forget that they were supposed to be saving money. Both of these will be swamped with people immediately. So if there's merch you really want, I recommend getting in line. That said, any merch that you do buy before the show, you will have to hold for the entire concert. If you want to not wait in line and you're not too picky about which t-shirt you get, you can just go to the merch booth during one of the other bands, and you'll be able to just walk up and there won't really be a line. They just might be out of the rarest stuff. And unless you enjoy standing around waiting in line while holding your bladder, I recommend bathroom breaks during bands you are less interested in. In between bands, when nobody is playing, the bathroom can take an entire 15 minutes or more. But during any of the bands, you'll be able to just walk in and out. I've done it in the same song. Even if it's a band you do like, if they're playing a song you're not into, go take a bathroom break. Always remember the famous haiku, mid-song, piss song. But alright, now that you've got your overpriced beverage in hand, time to make your way into the crowd. Or the seats if you're over 30. No matter if you're at a club show or an arena, there is a universal organization of the audience. The first 3 to 5 rows of people in the very front of the stage will be squished like they're in a trash compactor. While this is the most valuable spot because the band is right in your face, it does mean that for the entire concert, you will have elbows digging into your back, people screaming in your ear, constant kicks to the head from crowd surfers. It's a blast. That said, the very front is also where fans feel the most engaged and get overwhelmed with the metallic euphoria. You really feel the power of the music as the band is playing mere feet in front of you, while you're surrounded by like-minded fans all screaming lyrics together. The front of the stage is definitely where the most magic happens, even if it does mean you're being squished together like Katamari Damacy. Plus, directly behind this first group is the mosh pit, which means that flying moshers can come flying out and slam into them from behind. So it's a lot of fun, but it is exhausting after getting pounded from all sides, which is what your mom said last night. The ever-beloved mosh pit is the fun zone, the danger zone, the violent, chaotic staple of metal concerts. I have an entire separate video on the mosh pit for beginners, so for more sarcastic details, check that one out. But to sum it up quickly here, the pit is violent. It is dangerous, but it is extremely fun. If you're standing in the pit zone, you are not allowed to complain about getting bumped into. If you're standing within the pit with your arms crossed, rocking a resting bitch face, that is your fault. You're at the wrong show. That doesn't mean that it's just an anarchic free-for-all where you can just fight anybody. If someone in the pit is being a massive shithead and is trying to fight people and is clearly trying to cause harm, the rest of the pit will take on a sort of hive mind of its own and forcibly reject said douchebag like a parasite. If someone falls down in the mosh pit, general decency demands that everyone stop to pick them up. Oftentimes, if someone starts to fall down, they won't even fully hit the ground before others catch them and prop them back up on their feet. The intention of the mosh pit is not to hurt people, but people can end up getting hurt while in the mosh pit. It is fast, it is wild, everyone's running, there's elbows flying everywhere. Even if you don't catch a fist to the face, it is still an exhausting experience. And if they're really insane, it can be a bit of a challenge to get out of. So there is no shame in needing to step out of the pit because you can't fucking breathe. Have fun, be cautious, stay hydrated, and don't be a bitch. Those are the laws of the pit. The part of the crowd I like to be in the most are the borders of the pit, also known as the retired moshers section. The borders of the pit are great for still being pretty close up while having space because of the area of the pit. You're close enough to still feel the power of the singing and the energy from the audience, but you are less likely to have a fat shirtless drunk body slam you. Less likely. It can still happen. Being part of the pit border patrol, you get really skilled at bouncing people off of you. All metalheads end up eventually developing the natural reflex of going like this once they've been to enough metal concerts. You won't even notice it after a while. The band's playing, someone bumps into you and you're just The rest of the audience on the floor behind this area we'll call the general crowd space. These are the most casual spots of the show. You can comfortably stand back here and drink and smoke and enjoy the concert without getting injured, probably. However, the farther you are back from the stage and the action, the more disconnected you can end up feeling from the show. But if you're older or just more of a chill person, it might be worth sticking it back here and enjoying the concert without getting drenched in beer and a black eye. This all is the structure of the audience 95% of the time, but do be warned that it does depend on the band. I have been to some thrash and punk shows where the entire floor was like Battle Royale, so maybe watch a YouTube video of the band you're going to see first so you know what to expect. Being at your very first metal show, you might feel a little nervous, little standoffish, maybe you don't like humans and being in public gives you the heebie-jeebies. Well, the good news for you is that everyone around you feels the same. Metalheads get along extremely well with each other because we are all the black sheep of our families. So we can easily bond over our shared love of epic riffs and ear damage. At the show, just start chatting with someone about how awesome the band is. Name drop an obscure underground band that you probably made up to prove you're cool, and boom, friendship. You will certainly have a colorful cast of characters to choose from. Some of the usual characters you'll find at most metal concerts are as follows. The overweight rednecks who only own Pantera shirts, who are more than likely to get kicked out for fighting. The very excited teenagers who will show up to class with mosh pit bruises the next day. The long-haired Norse guys who actually think they're Vikings even though they don't know what their rune tattoos mean. The thrashers and the headbangers who started drinking at noon and won't remember falling asleep in the dumpster after the show. The goth and metal insta-models who are only there to take selfies and gangbang the band. The short former scene turned metalcore girls who will out-drink and fight everyone. The menacing-looking death metalers who can't wait for the show to be over so they can keep playing Oblivion. The retired metal couple who have more energy than you do. The random hip-hop guy who just came with his friends and doesn't know what's going on. Plus you got your retired moshers, concert veterans, and metal nerds who own every vinyl of the band calmly enjoying the show. So choose your location wisely. If you're one of those people who can't enjoy a metal show without getting punched in the face, then head on up to the front. But if you're over 30 and your back hurts, then chill somewhere behind the pit. And once you are situated, it is finally showtime. And my advice at this point is to have fun. Be as energetic as you like. Don't watch the entire concert through your fucking phone. Help people if they fall down. Try crowd surfing at least once. It's a lot of fun. Get ready for neck pain and loud noises. Don't fight anybody. And most importantly of all, do not forget this one. Enjoy the shit out of your first concert. Some people think that metal shows are just a bunch of raving lunatics causing uncivilized mayhem, and while that is true, for us fans they are also our churches, our divine moments of inspiration where we feel the most alive. Newer metal fans out there will instantly become addicted, and older metal fans will continue to go to the shows, even though they've seen the band 37 times now because of the environment, the energy, and the people. So if you're just starting your metal journey, have no fear. Just keep in mind this handy-dandy heavy metal guy, and you'll be off to enjoying a life of the greatest music, the wildest shows, the most fun you'll ever have, and tinnitus. I hope hope you all enjoyed this guide. If there's anything you think I missed, any tips you have for noobs, or any questions that I didn't cover, let me know in the comments below. Alright, now go be metal. For more from me, check out my band Dark Insanity. You can find us on Instagram, on Spotify, on all of the streaming platforms, on Bandcamp as well. We have our EP Rabid Psychosis out now. This October, we are playing with Carnivore AD at the Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood, October 16th. Tickets are $25, so hit me or the band up if you'd like one. We've got Why It's Metal and Dark Insanity merch available now in my shop. We've also got hoodies, hats, buttons, stickers. We even have Dark Insanity weed bags. Link is in the description of this video. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.